Hello, I'm Sean Watkins.
And I am Pete Harper. Welcome to Before Your Very Ears, the podcast where we sit down with some of our favorite songwriters, set up a few mics, and write a song.
Yep. Our only rule is that by the end, we have to have a completed song. You know, there's a pretty big difference between talking about the songwriting process and actually doing it. And so that's what we want to show you here. The nuts and bolts, all the sausage making, etc.
Before Your Very Ears!
All right, our guest today is Dan Wilson. What to say about him? He's one of those people, those songwriters who not everyone knows his name, but pretty much if you live in the Western world, you probably heard his songs.
And even if you don't.
Even if you don't. Oh, I will take that back. If you live in the world on planet Earth, you most likely have heard one of his songs. He was I first was made aware of him when he was in the band Semisonic, which he is still in. Most people know Semisonic's song "Closing Time," which is just completely ubiquitous in our culture at this point. I mean, who hasn't been in a bar when the lights came on and that song also came on?
If you haven't, go do that now.
Go do it now.
Yeah, it's happening right now somewhere.
It's a cultural phenomenon, really.
Yeah.
You know? And so he's written these songs that are in our culture, and we all know them. Another song that he co-wrote was with Adele, and that song is "Someone Like You," which incidentally, the version that you hear on the radio is the demo that they made at his house, because once they wrote it, she took it back and tried to record it and, produce it with a bunch of people, make it big, and they just couldn't beat the demo. And so he said about a year later, the record company came back and said, "Hey, do you have that demo? That was the best one." And so what you hear on the radio is just it's her singing it in his old living room at his house in Hollywood.
That's what Dan does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He brings the best out of songwriters. The list of people who've recorded either just his songs or songs they've written with him is just bananas. It's like Taylor Swift, Chris Stapleton, Harry Connick Jr., Florence and the Machine, Panic at the Disco, Dierks Bentley, Weezer, Leon Bridges, Halsey, Josh Groban, Jason Mraz, Leanne Rimes and Stevie Nicks, Madison Cunningham, Pink. And, he's won a couple of Grammys, one for the song he wrote with now they're called the Chicks, but the Dixie Chicks at the time. Not Ready to Make Nice won Song of the Year, I believe. And then also the album that Someone Like You is on won Album of the Year. So, I mean, it's just an insane list.
Yeah, it's a very, very long list. He's sort of the go-to guy. I feel like I've known a lot of people over the years who've been like, "Oh, I wonder if I could just write a song with Dan, then everything will be cool."
Yeah.
Which is incidentally something we sort of get into in this podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, we won't talk too much about him. You will find out what a lovely and sweet and just absolute badass person he is here. We're so glad that he came by and sat with us to write this song. So here we go. This is Before Your Very Ears with our guest, Dan Wilson. But first, a quick word from our sponsor.
Hello. Have you ever heard a chord progression and thought, wow, I like that? Or a sticky melody or a life-affirming lyric and thought, wow, I like that. And then thought, I want to learn how to do that. Berklee Online can take you there.
Berklee Online offers more than 250 courses. That's a lot of courses.
So many.
Many in songwriting with the same teachings and the same teachers as the renowned Berklee College of Music in Boston. Yeah, that one. Heard of it?
But you can learn from anywhere. Plus, it's a fraction of the cost.
Visit bol.education for a free sample lesson.
Use the code SONG for a 10% discount on your first non-degree course.
Pete, I love your pronunciation of song. It was very McCartney-esque.
Thank you.
But I digress. Folks, visit bol.education. Learn music with Berklee from anywhere.
Yeah.
I've never been more on than I was 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, normally I don't write unless there's a project specifically to write for. And this has been a fun exercise in writing for a reason, but not for a project, you know.
Interesting. Yeah.
For this podcast. And every time we get together, we sort of, you know, it really is starting from scratch. I started thinking like earlier today, I was thinking like, man, Dan's coming over. I feel like I really should have something prepared or something to go on. And then we kind of were like, no, that's not the point. The point is to really start from scratch.
Yeah,
Cool. Yeah.
Or that is the point, which is like to have that conversation, which is what when you're feeling like you're sitting down for a session to do something,
Right.
and you feel like there's something like there are stakes, which is I'm supposed to bring something to this session,
Right,
or
right.
I need to be prepared for this session,
Right.
and one of the things that we were talking about was what the roles are that we have in different environments. And part of that is like, as we were saying today, they're not chosen roles when you end up talking to someone, or like we were talking about in the kitchen a minute ago. Like
Right.
there's just something that happens. Either someone gives you a good feeling in your body, or they don't, and then you react that way, and then that's the thing that happens. But I think in the environment where like Sean was like, oh, well, because Dan's a guy that knows about songs.
Yes, we better do things differently.
That we better be prepared somehow. Like my role in that is to make sure I don't disappoint Dan by not having a song. Is like, but like that all happens like it's sort of like pre-consciously. Like it's not like, and that these are things where like you go into a room and there's an expectation of what you're gonna be doing.
No.
Or what you're supposed to offer, or what you're not supposed to offer. And I mean, I feel like for everyone that's different, like, because you produce songs and you write songs, and like certainly people come to you expecting something from you. Do you think about being what
my
people
role is?
expect from you and what you are supposed to do?
I think in a weak moment I might think about that, but I feel like part of if you do what we did earlier, and just like shoot the breeze out in the backyard, you know, you start to kind of forget that baggage you come in with a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think I feel personally like I guess I would confess that I'm resistant to a role that I'm supposed to play. Like I tend to be rebellious against a role that I'm supposed to play. And I know that's not smart for me to say in a way, but I like if I'm supposed to get into a session and help somebody like cure their writer's block,
Yeah.
I'd much rather just talk about what ails them and why they're upset, you know, the whole time, than somehow magically like break the log jam and come out with a song. I almost feel like I resist the idea of like having to fulfill a role, and so I've always had to kind of manage that, because I can't go through life like confounding everyone's hopes and dreams, you know. But I think sometimes if I'm with an artist and the people around them are like, oh, Dan will set them straight and they won't, you know, they'll come out with a song and they'll be productive. Like to me, sometimes the question is actually like, it's not like, how can I get in there with you and make you productive, like a productive capitalist songwriting machine. Maybe sometimes the idea is like, let's talk about the difficulties of being an artist and why it's so hard to navigate in our world as an artist. And maybe we learn something, and it's not really, maybe the mission isn't to just like turn everybody into a really good musical widget machine, you know. Yeah, sometimes they want to just like vent.
Well, that's
then halfway through the venting, you're like, oh, wait a minute, that really angry thing you said could be a really good song.
Yeah, totally.
Have you ever written a song like to another song's lyric, and then just changed the chords?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, it's so fun.
There's an album of Dylan's that I have never heard in my life, There are two of them, actually. There's Shot Full of Love and the one after that, which I can't remember what it's called. But sometimes, just as a fun thing to do, I go into my complete Dylan lyric book, and I take one of those lyrics and I set it to music. Super fun.
That's so great.
Because I don't have no idea what he did with those lyrics.
Yeah.
Right. But you know that the lyrics are worth.
But it's gonna be dope. Exactly.
That's a great like little window you found.
I trust it.
Yeah, this is worth my time. Yeah.
I think we kind of I get trapped in this thing of like I have to write a song for my vibe, for an album of mine that's me, that's all original. I can't copy anyone else. But forgetting that like there are all these things that you can do like that or like John Bryan at one point told me he would just like basically watch movies, turn the volume off and just score them. Just for himself.
Nice.
Just like play along live and sometimes record it and sometimes not, but just redo it and see how it affects what the visual, you know? And like that's just an exercise that's never going to come out, and you know, but I think that's such a fun thing to do songwriting wise. I've definitely done that before, where you sort of like you write something with the framework of an existing song and then just drop the framework
take it out and then
put in new chords and I think it's important to remember that those things exist. But
like I think one of the Dylan things was also one of the Beatles things where he would start singing one song that already existed, some song, and then just keep going and write new verses for it, and eventually just naturally kind of tweak it. I totally believe in that as a method. What about what was something that's kind of droney and riffy?
Droney?
I like both
like
of those
droney,
things.
like
Yeah.
I don't know. I was sitting around in G, but it doesn't have to be.
I love G.
I guess at this point I'm hearing it wants to be faster, and the melody is a melody, but it's not a vocal melody. So I think like what I hear is like something like that, like
Yeah.
la 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 something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I think about home, some days that I just wanna go back when.
I had this idea. Wait, what's the phrase? It was like a long-term solution to a short-term problem, which is like the big moves that we make in times where we're like, I just need to do something, you know. It's something that I have to remind myself and like.
I like that. I mean, what you're talking about really is sitting in your feelings, I think. So like you want to make a big move because your feelings are big.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Interesting, yeah.
But you want to have what you want to do is figure out how to sit with let your feelings exist without having to make having to make a move that's as big as your feeling.
Exactly.
Which I think is an interesting thing.
Nice.
Yeah. There's
mine.
I love that saying that Pete Holmes always talks about, which is like a bumper sticker he saw somewhere, which is, don't believe everything you think, which kind of leads to, you're not your feelings.
Yeah.
And just that idea of sitting with something and not reacting to it. And that in itself is like, I guess I thought of that because this song, like if we're doing something sort of like a mantra or a kind of a droney thing like that kind of seems to line up for me. It's like some kind of maybe it's something that you sing to yourself. Maybe it's you talking to yourself to not make any sudden moves. Nothing, long-term solution to a short-term problem.
Yeah, that's pretty. I love that phrase, Sean.
Long-term solution for a short-term problem. Yeah.
So
and that could be.
I could drop it into that section.
I mean, like long-term.
Like, what if it was like a long-term solution for a short-term problem?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe.
I think that's to me that's a verse line.
A verse line, not a chorus line.
In a verse.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like if we had like 5 lines like that had the same scan, it would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It could be obviously. You could take it into a marriage.
That's
you could take it in.
Amazing first line for a song. Maybe we could open it up.
Yeah, like a mission statement.
Here's an idea. This is I'm in left turn mode, but
cool.
Love it.
Something like long-term solution to a short-term problem.
Yeah.
It's a long down.
Yeah.
Something like that. I think it'd be really
That
fun.
could be cool.
And then I'm thinking, so what if it went something like, from what I know, if you say write it out, we're gonna write it out.
Yeah.
If you say blow it down, I'm gonna blow it down. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
We're gonna. If you say write it out, then we're gonna write it out.
What?
If you say
burn it down,
then I'm gonna
burn it down. I like the
yeah.
we and the I.
Yeah.
That's good.
Hello. Are you interested in learning songwriting? You very well may be, since you're listening to this podcast. How about trying Berklee Online?
It's the renowned curriculum of Berklee College of Music, but you can learn from anywhere. You don't have to be in Boston. Boston's a lovely place, but not everyone can live in Boston. At least all at the same time. It's just not possible, Pete.
It is not, Sean, that's right. But Berklee Online offers more than 250 music courses, many in songwriting.
Visit bol.education to try a free sample lesson.
When you're ready to sign up, you'll receive a 10% discount on your first non-degree course or certificate with the coupon code SONG.
I'll tell you what, I'm loving how much sense that discount code makes.
Song.
But folks, go to bol.education.
On the internet.
Right now, just do it. Where you can learn music with Berklee from anywhere. I find myself just always finding a reason to make some drastic move that's going to fix some little minute problem.
Yeah.
In my life that's just going to pass. Mm-hmm. And I want to do something totally drastic just to attack it, like to overwhelm the problem.
Yeah.
And that might mean saying something that's really hurtful to somebody, or just making a decision at the wrong time.
Burn it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that stuff you said was great. I feel like
What I know, you don't know what's all about. If you say write it out, I'm gonna write it out. All I know, we're gonna find a way out. Yeah, but if you say burn it down, baby, I'll burn it down.
yeah, it's like I like that. The two polar opposites, writing it out or burning it down.
Yeah. And like whatever you say, hon.
Yeah.
You do the thinking, I'll do the lifting.
Yeah. It's a good.
But I know.
I wish I could remember that. Let's see. From what I know, you're gonna know what it's all about. So if you say write it out, then we're gonna write it out.
And then, from what I know,
I'm gonna write it out. So what if we just try to just jam out some lines for that verse area?
Yeah.
You know, and everybody, we can just do it slowly and kind of just improvise and see if we
See
can
what happens.
think if we can each take turns and say a good line.
let's do it.
I'm so bad at this.
Like long-term solution to a short-term problem. Let's see if we can find this.
Like if you need another reason, I've got them.
Got one is a good.
Yeah,
we had that.
If you
line.
need another reason, I got one.
Another reason, I'm sure you got one. I'm a full-time seeker and a half-time father.
Yeah.
Full-time smoker, I don't even bother.
Yeah. Should we start a shared doc or note? Do you guys have?
Yeah. I just made one called Write It Out because that's
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
Write It Out.
Is this is this some classic tune that I've co-opted here for this?
Nah.
Is it a George Harrison thing?
No.
Not at all.
No.
It's certainly not a.
Say that I'm lucky. Yes, I know I'm a lucky guy. I don't think it's too close to.
No.
I remember at one point you said, in one of your very wise posts, it was don't get hung up on if it sounds like someone else's songs.
And yes, it sounds like. Yeah.
That's not something worth getting hung up on because you can also get to the end and change one chord and it will just obliterate
You
that.
might accidentally change it anyway. I was just talking to my wife Diane about roles, like we were talking about earlier, and then Sean and I had a similar conversation, actually, and it was about how, at least in our lives, Sean, I'll speak for you a little bit, but mostly for me, our partners are the ones who grab the fucking steering wheel and steer when it needs to be done.
Yeah.
In life.
Yep.
And you and I seems
I'll third
like
that emotion.
Okay, so that's the three of us.
Yeah.
So I'm very likely in my relationship to be like, well, everything's pretty cool. Let's not just mess it up.
Yeah.
And let's just keep it exactly the way it is till kingdom come. And Diane's like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I want to grab that steering wheel, please, for just a minute.
Yeah.
We're gonna do something drastically different with our lives starting now. And
Right.
And if I talk to her later about it, or if we have a talk about it later about it, she goes, well, I knew it was good for you and me both, and so that's what we did.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
So anyway, I feel like there's a little bit of, maybe because of that conversation you and I had, Sean, a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of that energy. If it's you're going to know what it's all about. And if you say ride it out, then we're going to ride it out. You
Right.
know? But if you say burn it down, I'm going to burn it down.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, Pete, that saying I'm going to burn it down is even more like,
It's like
I'm into this mission now.
totally
You know,
like I've signed up.
Yeah, I've signed up.
If it's burning it down,
Yeah,
I
I'm
can do that.
Totally doing that.
Yeah.
Also, maybe easier than actually either building it up or riding it
Or
out.
riding it out.
I love that. So if the chorus like that, that's like a unifying like anthem of like we're together in this, like even if I fight it during the process, even if I'm even if I'm the voice of dissent when it comes to change, in the end we'll burn it down or write it out together.
Right. And so I think that all of that sort of back and forth and kind of like dilly-dallying goes in the verse.
Yeah, like
and it'll be very happily lived there, I think.
Yeah, like the long-term solution to a short-term problem is like just something that gets maybe that's something that I would say, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe that's and then it's rebutted by something else.
If you say write it out, we're gonna write it out. If you say burn it down, I'm gonna burn it down.
That's a pretty solid chorus.
It feels nice.
Yeah.
I think I like the idea of it, so that structure we have here for the chorus with burn it down, but maybe there's a way to just, if we repeat something or vamp on it, it would be write it out. We're gonna write it out. If you say write it out, if you say write it out, we're gonna write it out. You could do that a couple times, and that might be fun too.
Yeah.
We could flip them the last time even.
Yes.
That could be interesting. I was thinking there's an alternate chord thing too.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
Yeah, that's great.
I like that a lot.
Should we try to verse this thing?
Verse this song.
I think we should verse this song a little. Don't you think?
Yeah, that feels like a chorus that it's definitely strong enough to.
Here we got the hard part.
Let's reverse engineer it.
Yeah.
It's a long-term solution for a short-term problem.
Oh yeah, nice.
Like a
Got one, setting sun.
yeah.
Got gun. Oh, the song just like, see, this is like when you're at a restaurant and you leave to go to the bathroom and you come back and your food's there. Come back and I'm like, wow, the song's done.
Something's starting to happen.
You're like, oh, I did order pancakes. Yeah. I keep coming, maybe it's too simple, but it's like when you're looking for answers, it seems like everybody's got one.
Yeah, like that. It's a long-term solution, short-term problem.
When you're looking for answers, everybody's got one.
Everybody's got one.
Or
in the setting sun. Like, what's the difference between like solving a problem with a scalpel or a shotgun, or like a screwdriver or a shotgun, or like a
You know that saying, like, if you're a hammer, everything's a nail?
yes.
Like, I love that thing. I was thinking, like, there's like,
Yeah.
if you're something, everything's a shotgun.
Right.
Like, if you're some kind of problem or some kind of like
Right.
a way that you always solve your problems is with some kind of extreme.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was you saying, Sean, about like some little like some little like temporary subtle thing is wrong, and you want to like change everything about it, or like
you want to make
it. Like,
like
that might be what the shotgun line is about.
Like I couldn't get a drawer. We've got this drawer in our upstairs in our bathroom.
This is great.
That's just so hard. It's just such a bummer. It comes out and then you can't put it back in, and it's like it doesn't. And like it always, it's always like early in the morning or late at night when it you pull it out and you can't get it back in. And I was just like, the other day it happened, and I just couldn't get it back in, and I was like, you know what? We need to just let's just. I just wanted to destroy the whole cabinet.
Yeah.
I was like, we're getting rid of this,
Go.
instead of just like figuring out what's wrong with the drawer and maybe like, I don't know, putting some wax on it or something so it slides in. But it was just like, it's the caveman in me that just wants to just like crush it with a hammer.
Next, the next scene is it's out kind of a kilter in the garbage area. Like,
Yes, totally.
thrown out the window, and it's at a diagonal on top of the garbage bin.
So what's a thing like a dresser drawer you're gonna fix with a shotgun? Like what's something that like
yeah.
is there something like
something that's completely unrelated you're gonna fix with a shotgun.
Exactly.
Like
I mean, I'm not opposed to just using something stupid and literal like
it's a dresser drawer I'm gonna fix with a shotgun.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Like wrong tool, man.
Yeah.
Right. It's almost like it's got to be like, I do this and you do that.
Yeah.
These couple of these lines.
Right.
Like you're gonna figure this out like before the setting sun, and I'm gonna fix that dresser drawer with a shotgun.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Right.
Like something, right? Like
Right. This song is becoming like a cool like kind of observational relationship.
Yeah. Like
Song. Should we fill in these first verse?
Sure.
With those were some pretty good lines that we had.
Mm-hmm. We've definitely
Great.
It's a long-term solution for a short-term problem. And then did we say something about the setting sun?
Good.
Like to wait for the setting sun, and like dresser drawer is broken, I'll fix it with a shotgun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dresser drawer is broken, and I fixed it with a shotgun.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Pete, what was the line you said about the setting sun? I thought you said something about.
it's that thing like where like you sort of hold space and wait for the setting sun, like, but not those words. Like
Right. Waiting for the setting sun in a good way. Like you
look for the truth in the setting sun. Like you're seeing.
You're thinking
like,
outside the now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Well, like you, how about you've got eyes that look for the truth in the setting sun, or the truth.
While I'm inside. Well, that's a verse and chorus there,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
and then.
I still think we could get like a little more like, you say potato, I say potato.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your favorite album by Yes is Tormato?
I kind of dig that too.
You say potato and I say potato. Fettuccine Alfredo or maybe Pomodoro. You say Camaro and I say Camaro.
Right.
You say Camaro and I say Camaro is really got a thing to it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna jot that one down. How about I say today and you say tomorrow?
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah.
Now there we go.
Say Camaro and you say Camaro. I say today and you say tomorrow. Or you say today and I say tomorrow.
Yes,
and
totally.
I think We could say potato, but I almost feel like
No,
if we can get
Camaro.
rid of it, we're happier, I think.
I think that no one wants to hear that line in a song.
It just takes you out. You'll be out of the song in a heartbeat.
it's basically summarily kicking anyone out of their involvement.
Were you enjoying that? Were you the last one? You're out too.
Yeah.
You're all out. It's
You're
time
all
to go home. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. I like you bring the ocean, I'll bring the ego. I'm not even sure what it means.
Yeah, it has to do with that kind of like she's got the big picture, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's like, here, the party, you bring this and I'll bring that.
I'll bring that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll bring the dip.
The dip. I'll bring the dip.
You know? You guys,
It's
what are you
just
gonna
such a
bring?
setup.
What are you gonna bring? I'll bring.
No, you were already bringing the dip. What else are you bringing?
I'll bring the dip.
So is this verse kind of done-ish?
If it's not done, it's damn close. We should.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
You've got some
Starry eyes, dark eyes.
hopeful eyes, or like something that contrasts with
Shooting up the house.
yeah. Or shooting up the dresser.
What about something like tiger eyes or
Oh, that's lovely.
I don't know, tigers no shit.
That's true.
Also, isn't that like the name of a stone?
It
Yeah,
is
tiger eye.
I like those stones.
Yeah, tiger eye.
I like those stones too.
Yeah, and it's also like tiger's eye. I think is sort of like one of those, like stones tiger's eye. I think is sort of like one of those. Yeah, like
It's like
stones
groundedness and
it has to do with like
it's like groundedness and
it has to do with like
really?
there's some woo stuff in there.
yeah, it's the opposite of shooting a dresser with a shotgun.
We need
Yeah,
woo.
sure.
We need more woo.
We need
Okay,
more woo.
let's try this.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
It's a long-term solution to a short-term problem. When you're looking for answers, that's when everybody's got one. You've got tiger eyes that look for the truth in the setting sun. While I'm upstairs fixing our dresser with a shotgun. From what I know, you're gonna know what it's all about. So if you say write it out, we're gonna write it out. For all I know, you're gonna tell me to cool it now. But if you say burn it down, baby, I'll burn it down. You say Camaro and I say Camaro. You say today when I say tomorrow. You bring the ocean and I'll bring the ego. When it gets dark, you got vision that I wish I could borrow. From what I know, you're gonna know what it's all about. So if you say write it out, we're gonna write it out. For all I know, you're gonna tell me to cool it now. But if you say burn it down, baby, I'll burn it down. From what I know, you're gonna know what it's all about. So if you say write it out, we're gonna write it out. For all I know, you're gonna tell me to cool it now.
Before Your Very Ears is produced, recorded, and edited by us, Sean Watkins and Pete Harper, at Hail Marie Studio in Los Angeles, California, and is a co-production with New Psyche Records. If you'd like to contact us directly with any questions or comments, you can email us at byve@gmail.com. And you can find us on Instagram at Before Your Very Ears. If you'd like to join our Patreon, go to patreon.com/Before Your Very Ears to sign up and gain access to extra content, including full unedited episodes. Thanks so much to Premier Guitar for graciously hosting us on their stellar podcast network, and to Berklee College of Music for sponsoring this episode. And last, but far from least, thank you so much to all you listeners. We really appreciate it. See you next time.